Homeworthy. I'm Cher Beall. Welcome to my home in Southern California. I'd love to share with you my Halloween party settings. Come on in.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
I'm Cher Beall. I'm an interior designer, and I've been doing this for over 30 years and projects all over the country. So we are in Southern California. I have purposely designed my particular space as a very neutral background because I love to decorate for the holidays and I like to change things up just a little bit. So I love a neutral, calm background that I can play with seasonal flowers when it comes to the summer, or change a little bit when it comes to Christmas, or as you will see today, change up for Halloween. It makes an awesome background. Coming into the front entry of the house, we have this fun mirrored table that I usually have set up with seasonal flowers or a Christmas tree or something. In this case, I've got my spooky tree. So some of my favorite things on this tree are this funny little delicate dancing skeleton. I have these tiny little lanterns that light up with little batteries below. I just adore them. These fun little cones, some little paper cones with lots of, glistening trim and different designs in the front. They're sort of super fun and delicate. Little metal spider web with a spider on top. Of course, a shoe. Every girl needs a Halloween shoe. I love him, kind of super special. And then just all kinds of little fun glistening baskets that I've collected over the years. So this changes every year, just depending on what I have and what I find. And sometimes, the kids help me decorate, so it's which ornaments they like best too. And then some things that are here on a regular basis. I usually have candles. I usually have the shells since we live by the beach. But what is different and what I've changed out for this time of year is I've added my special little pumpkins. These are just such fun, creative pieces from an artist called Virgie Lightfoot. And I've got them placed on boxes, and this is one of my little design tricks that I often use when I need to elevate something to change the height. I will use boxes that work with my color scheme. So in this case, just a fun damask pattern box, in this case a little orange box, and they just sort of change the elevation and the height of things, sort of adding some drama. Got lots of candles, lots of light, these funny little skeleton candles, bones, and then skeletons at the top. So just kind of some fun, silly things. So now I'd like to show you the library dining room, and this is a more formal space of the house, and I've set this up as an adult room versus one of the more kid-friendly spaces. So you will see I've got a spooky thing happening in here, and this is the first year I've ever done anything like this. So I've always had children. I never wanted them to be frightened by Halloween in any way, scared. I wanted it to just be a fun, playful holiday. And so you'll see as we go through the rest of the spaces that things are they're funny. And in this case, it's definitely more scary. So I do have some little talking skeletons, but they're kind of fun because they repeat what you say. And I do have a butler that's in the corner that I've had for years and years, but in an effort to make him not so scary, his eyes glow red, and he actually has scared all of us kind of coming around the corner one time or another. At one point, my toddler son was too afraid to walk down the stairs because of the Dracula butler. But anyway, so in order to make him not so scary, we have put funny bat glasses on him and a funny hat. So I'm always trying to make things a little less frightening and a little more fun. So in here, it's really very simple. This is my normal dinnerware in China, and all I've done is sort of accessorize. These are actually my Christmas napkins, but the color is super fun. You can see I don't have any orange in here. So again, I was choosing colors that worked with the background of the space and its environment, and that makes it that much more, I think, beautiful and cohesive. It's not jarring. It looks like it lives well in its space. All of the purples and the aquas kind of still signify Halloween, but they do it in a way that maybe is more sophisticated in this space. And because it's an adult space, it was important that it feel that way. Anyway, basically my normal dinnerware, and I've just accented with things that made it feel more Halloweenish. I think it's super funny to have these books and this giant rubber frog on top, like you've been turned into a frog with one of the spell books. So I have tiny spell books, big spell books, and of course, elevated again on a damask box. Just an empty box, but I knew when I saw this box it was going to make a perfect platform for something in my Halloween decor. We've got these little skeletons that were really part of a garland, and I'll show you in one of the other spaces how I often take a garland apart and make either napkin ties or some little accessory for the table. Got a funny bowl of eyeballs because, of course, doesn't everyone need a bowl of eyeballs on their table for Halloween? So super fun. I've got my little birds that I use often, or vases, rather than have one floral arrangement that sort of gets in the way. When you're dining, I like to have flowers spread about. So it's dispersing the color as well as sort of the loveliness of the flowers. One of the fun things about this space, when I designed this room, we remodeled this house, and this dining room was sort of just this big rectangle, and I felt like it would be a cozier space if it felt like it was a library, and it would feel more intimate and cozy and usable for meetings or dinner parties. And so, but I also needed to have storage, and so I designed this whole little extra space that's really only about 6 feet deep that houses china and wine. And in this space, so it's kind of super easy, you can see beyond. In this space is where I house all this stuff, but I also thought it made it super funny to put morgue on the outside and make you think that this was maybe something different during Halloween. I think I've always decorated for Halloween once I started to have children. So it's just such a fun way to engage your children in the holidays and make things extra special. I change it up every year just depending on what I've got going on, and it's just always fun to sort of move things around a little bit. Some things I do the same, but you know, being a creative, I kind of can't help but just do different things different years. You know, whether it's put more party hats on someone or silly glasses or just playful ways to make things different and fun, usually with what I have, and then sometimes supplementing with other fun things that we think would be silly to do. So now I'm going to show you the kitchen and the more family-friendly, kid-friendly spaces. So the point of this dining space was to make a space, a Halloween celebration space that was compatible with its neutral environment. So we didn't want to use bright orange, which is what everyone thinks about for Halloween. We wanted it to be more natural and light like the rest of the space, and again, be compatible with where it lives. So in this case, we used white pumpkins, and they're just these fun plastic pumpkins that light up. And of course, because I'm always trying to decorate everything, I've got fun little glitter hats. So they add just a little bit of drama and pizzazz to our little holiday setting. The other thing that we did, so I used my basic white dinnerware dishes, and I placed them on top of these fun little placemats from a company called Hester and Cook, and they're just paper, but they have this fabulous design on them, very natural with bugs and just very playful. Wood chargers, pretend wood chargers. I love them because they're disposable. The kids can make a mess of them, and after dinner we just throw them away. So they're kind of fantastic, super cute. And then these little plates are melamine, so they're perfect for my little grandkids too. They're so compatible with everything that we've kind of curated and put it together. And these guys are by John Darien, but they're at Target, so they're like just killer cute. I got these last year. I think they still have them, but they're just killer cute. And I love how they work together with everything here. So in addition, what we've done, these are napkins I already had, sort of just fun, gauzy, simple napkins that are just kind of very compatible with everything. And then I used my same garland trick. This was a garland of ghosts. I cut them off, and I've just got them placed on top of the napkins. So just, again, like a little playful touch that is fun for my grandkids. Obviously totally amuse myself. And then of course we've got spiders, little glistening spiders crawling around wherever we can, and then also little playful touches. So I love paper art and have a couple wonderful little artists that create different kinds of boxes, and then I also like to make different paper crafts myself. But so I've got these sort of as just little table accessories, and in other places I've used them to put candy or treats. So I usually have little surprises on the table. This year I haven't gotten quite that far with my boxes, but I did get there with my shoes. So these little shoes, these little witch shoes, I have filled with cookies, Oreos, with, of course, orange frosting. They're just in little plastic bags. We wrap them with ribbon, and everyone's got a little party favor witch shoe. So, and then I guess other than that, all of our candles are kind of natural. We've got our little owls, and we've got our little sort of wood grain candles, our little birds, again with different flowers, sort of adding a pop of color. So this banquette is something that I love to create in my spaces. I just think it's so fun to hang out in. In our case, we open up the windows and I can fit all my grandkids. They crawl under the table, they sit across the back, and we've got a TV that pops up at the very end. So if you're cooking in here, you can still see the football game. Our family loves the coziness of a banquette. So we are so lucky because in addition to our kitchen banquette, which is the perfect morning breakfast spot, we also have an informal kitchen dining space. And so this space has a fireplace and is kind of super fun for also family gatherings. So come on and I'll show you it. This is the entry table into the private family area of the house. So this is a special moment where I can create whatever holiday season it is. And so in this case, we've got this fun faux bois stump, and we've trimmed it with feathers, and then all kinds of candles that that light up and smile at you. So we've got a mixture of owls, we've got our fun little birds with poppies, orange poppies, we've got our little spiders with eyes, all kinds of lanterns, and all kinds of fun larger scale ornaments. So, and then all of this is reflected in the glass cabinetry behind. So it kind of creates a super fun, dramatic entry into our kitchen space. This is the kitchen dining. What we've done in here is, again, sort of my simple, regular dining tableware, white dishes. We placed them on another fun paper placemat from Hester Cook. And then we have these fun little plates that have spider webs on them. So just adding a simple little plate on top of your normal dinnerware, and it just adds such a fun and festive look. And then of course on top, we've got these little lovely paper crafts, and I've got all different kinds of fun little paper crafts on top, and these are from one of my favorite artists, Wendy Addison, and she just does beautiful things. These are also hers. Doesn't everyone need one of these fun little guys, a shaker next to their plate? We've got simple rickrack napkins, and again, different little buckets of treats. This one happens to have green gumballs in it. And then this is our tree table. So we've got the spooky tree, and we've got the pumpkin tree. I guess the little tree in a bad mood over there. The way that I did my flower arrangements on this table was just take these simple little buckets, these little cauldrons, I guess, and filled it with different kinds of mums and zinnias. Just sort of gave it a super festive look. On our back server, we typically use this for serving, especially maybe dessert. But in this case, we've got all of our friendly pumpkins. Collected over the years, they kind of have all kinds of funny faces, and I usually put different hats, masks on them, kind of all kinds of funny things to just make them more playful and look like they're having a party themselves. So your pumpkins kind of want to be having a party themselves. And then in addition, we put these fun little trees with orange lights and cauldrons, and just a fun little banner across the back, and a few bats flying about. Over here, we've also got some hats and spiders, and spooky candles. And then as we head to the opposite side of the dining room, this is where I normally store china and then also tablecloths. But in this case, we put what's typically been an exterior decoration, I put them inside, so to make this feel like a spooky forest. And I think it would be super fun. We did not make these ourselves. These are something I bought probably 15 years ago, but I wanted to show you one and see how simple it is. It's basically a flat piece of wood, so if you wanted to make something similar yourself, you could cut it out of foam board or flat wood, and then it's got a little back glued to it or taped on, and then a little cord and light put through it that glows yellow because the backboard is painted yellow. So I think it's just such a fun idea. And like I said, this is not something that I made, but it's no longer made, but you could make them yourself. Probably all sorts of sizes and shapes. Oh, and then of course, you know, if you've got a pumpkin, you've got a skeleton, in my house, they're usually doing something, sitting around, laying around. They usually have a party hat, a scarf, or something else that I couldn't resist kind of adding a little more personality to them. One other kind of fun thing about this room and thing that you will find throughout my house is I'm always doing needlepoint. Well, no, when I sit still, I do needlepoint. which is not very often. But when I do, if I'm waiting in a carpool lane or a movie late at night or watching a rerun of a football game or something, then I will do needlepoint. And I usually create things that that are fun that I can use seasonally and pull out. So in this case, I've got these funny little Halloween needlepoint scenes, and I've got them as well as different little hangers throughout my house. In fact, you'll see them as we go in the kitchen and we go upstairs. I mean, perhaps even this little guy that's hanging right here. I try to make these little hangers so that they have different little scenes, and of course I put the year on the back, and then of course I use a fabric that is a companion that works in my house. So of course I want everything to kind of have a look lovely in its place. So before we head outside, I want to show you one of my fun little design tips, and that's, you can see that my little draperies, these plaid draperies, are that I have put up seasonally. And so for this time of year, I had these made, and my tip on that is that I literally used a long tablecloth that I ordered off of Amazon, and then I had my drapery workroom line them and make these panels that really change the look and feel of my house. So really super inexpensive. If you have a sewing machine, you can do it yourself. Just do a hem, and we've attached them in front of our normal shears, and it really just changes the look that in my space, in my neutral space, that then works for this time of year, but then also works for Thanksgiving and heading into fall and even Christmas. So it's just a fun, seasonal, inexpensive way to add a change. I find inspiration for my decorations everywhere. Any pumpkins and putting silly faces on them or hat, it's just a way to play with the materials in front of me and be creative. It just happens to me. It's just everywhere. I could be at the hardware store, I could be anywhere, and just things. I think about making things with things, and then whenever something is funny to me, then it's just especially fun. And so I really honestly don't go anywhere. It's just I start playing with things and honestly kind of amusing myself with it all. So now we're going to head out to the outside patio, and this is a little teak porch with built-ins that we added when we remodeled our house. And it's a fantastic space. We open up our large barn doors, and I'm able to have seating right off the house and the family living area. So in this case, we built a little fireplace. We've got, again, kind of banquette seating with outdoor fabric, and doesn't take up a lot of space. I think the whole deck was an add-on of about 11 feet. And we've got this little cozy, again, cozy seems to be my word, dining space. And in this case, I started with a fun tablecloth that was not a Halloween tablecloth. I just liked the colors, and I thought it would be super fun and festive. And then I added all kinds of fun candles. We've got our skeletons, we've got our pumpkins, we've got individual candles, this fun sort of candy tree. So this is all stuff I've used in other ways in other places years before, and now just came together with this particular mix on the table. And again, sort of my normal plain white dinnerware, I used these rattan chargers and then accented with tiny vases of flowers and made our little desserts on pedestals so they felt special. And then each little napkin has got a fun Rice Krispie treat pop for the kids. And in the trick, again, I've used for my napkins and also for my little goodie bags is to take an existing garland. And this is a ball of garlands, but take my existing garland and cut it apart and make my little goodie bags that I've hole punched and put a ribbon through and tied these fun little pom-poms on. So this is a fun trick I use when I'm decorating packages or I'm decorating something on the table, or I mean, honestly, I would probably use this as a hat on a spider or something. So just sort of fun, playful ways to cut up a garland and make lots of use of it. So that's exactly what I did with my little spiders here. This was intended by someone to be a garland across a fireplace. I think it's funny having them on each different place setting. So that's what I've got here. This is our backyard, and when we remodeled, we built this cabana. So we'd have a place to get out of the sun, and normally this has patio furniture, but I also designed it as a 12 by 12, so it fits perfectly for a round dining table or two long tables, or in this case, we've got a big square. So I purposely thought about its sizing and its position and how we were going to use it in multiple ways. So in this case, it makes the perfect party cabana. It works kind of great for this setting, but like I said, several other ways you can arrange the furniture in this square. So what we've got here is just fun. This is kind of a fun kiddish space with this block printed tablecloth and my little lovely paper mache baskets. These are actually candy baskets that I've got a vase inside of, and I did a floral arrangement inside them. So then in terms of dinnerware, we use just a basic black plate, a little silver charger, and a little seagrass placemat. And then on top, fun little napkins that are embroidered with little cats. And of course, on each place setting, I have some kind of fun shaker. So we've got all kinds of shapes and sizes, and I've collected these over the years too. So they're just kind of super fun. The kids love them, and just adds a sense of playfulness to the table. The next thing we've got our little Halloween witch shoes, again, a different sort of style. We've got gumballs inside, and then just in terms of other little details, and of course, I think the design is all about the details. We've got bats, some doing flips upside down, and some glowing in the dark, so just adding a sense of playfulness there. And then I usually like to have, especially if I've got the kids, I like to have different treats on the table. So this is just a simple little candy bar wrapped up, but of course it's a really big candy bar, so little kids love big candy bars. And then we've wrapped it up with fun wrapping and made our little gift tags with different stickers or even ribbon. So I'm always saving little remnants of ribbon for this exact kind of thing. It's kind of super fun. So accenting the ceiling of our space, we have these fun lanterns that have these silly faces on them. I've had these for years. It's not something you can order anymore, but you could certainly make them, and we're in the process of making some funny ones in my office now. And then of course I have our little dinner guests, which are my little ghosts. That again, this is something that I've had for years, and I typically use outside, but I sometimes even use them inside. And they just have a little metal frame. They light up at night, and they're so friendly. So this is kind of exactly the exact kind of Halloween decoration I love. Something that ghosts that have smiles on their face and are just happy and fun to look at. So we're outside my front entry, and we've decorated this year with lots of smiling pumpkins. And no, I did not carve all these myself. These are all plastic pumpkins. Some are lit up and plugged in. Some are lit up with little battery-powered lights inside. And then we've accented with these giant fun trees that look spooky, and lanterns and leaves hanging from them, and hay bales to add elevation to our pumpkins. My favorite part about decorating for Halloween is creating these little magic moments and vignettes that are playful. My children have always said that I add the sparkle to life or the pixie dust, and so this is my way to very rapidly pull together an environment that's fun and funny and playful and that we all get to enjoy and celebrate in. So in this little back stairway of my home, I've designed it with shelves that usually house all kinds of things. Like this is a little wood carving my son did. We've got family photos and books. So this is a little back of the house private stairway area. But in this case, I've got a little collection of all my little Halloween figures and little paper mache boxes that are made up above, a little needle point that I made. So it's sort of just little collection of my little Halloween figures. And then I do change this out at Christmas time as well. And so then I have my little Santa collection. I personally love to make my spaces feel super comfortable. I like sort of natural surfaces. I've taken a rather big house and tried to make it feel super comfortable. I like comfortable furniture, cozy spaces. I create nooks and window seats and down-filled furniture. And I love natural light, and I think it creates a happy space. And I love for people to feel welcome and comfortable and happy, and I like my family to feel that way too.
Thanks for watching. Go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content and shopping guides.